Okay, enhanced customer and vendor document layout. I think this is another underutilized feature, and I'm going to talk about how this works. So let's take a customer. So this works on the vendor side as well, but let me go over to my customers. And first, I'm going to talk about some document sending profiles. So what this feature right here, this document sending profile allows me to do is to determine or default on the customer. Do I want to email documents? Do I want to print documents, or do I want to do both? So that's what this document sending profile does. It allows me to configure that default operation for the customer. Same functionality on the vendor side. Then if I go into navigate customers, I've got this document layout section here. And what this allows me to do is based on what type of document output, what report do I want to run for that customer? So it allows me to set up different or unique documents by customer if I wanted to. So that functionality has been there for a little while. What the enhancement is the ability to now select an email address from a contact. So prior to this release, you could put an email address in there, but it was just a text field. I couldn't put in or I couldn't link it to a contact. So what this now allows me to do is to link it to a contact. This again is I think a rarely used feature, but this allows me to set up then default email addresses for customers in this case that I want to email invoices to. And again, linking it with that document sending profile, the user doesn't have to determine, do I want to email this thing or do I want to print? The system will just automatically do it. So nice feature. If you're not using documents layouts now with your customers or vendors, check it out. And then again, that document sending profile. All right, let's keep going. Manage direct debit collections and service management. So what this direct debit collections allows us to do is to pull funds from a customer's account. So not all customers allow you to do that, but this allows you to set that up within service management. Notify requester about all changes from an approval request. So this is some enhancements around the approval system. So there are notifications that can go back and forth between the requester and the approver, but there's some added functionality now about all changes that would be happening. So primarily around, let's say, a cascading approval scenario, I've got the ability then to notify the approver or the requester more than one time. All right, print to attachment. I'm going to show this one. This is a pretty cool feature, I think. So if I go to sales orders, this also works on purchase orders, and I've got a list here. I've got the ability now under print and send to attach as PDF. So what this is going to do is I can say, what type of a document do I want? I'm just going to do my my order confirmation. That's fine. I'm going to click OK. What this is going to do is the report is going to be rendered and it's going to be saved over here as an attachment under the document. So what's today? 4/1. So I just ran this one here today, and it's going to give me then a copy of the order confirmation attached to the sales order. So I don't have to run it and then attach it. I can do the same thing with purchase orders, this send to attachment. There's a lot of really interesting development that's happening behind the scenes to enable this type of functionality. And what it's going to allow us to do is to have better interaction with the browser interface and the local printer. So that's really key for long-term development features. Having this sort of functionality is interesting, but it's going to allow us to do a lot more in the future. So nice feature here to attach a document. And again, I can have more than one attachment to the document. All right, next feature is receiving more items than ordered. So this has been a request for years with people, and Microsoft has finally added this into Business Central. Very cool feature. So let's go over to my vendors, and I'm going to show you the setup in several places here. So I'm going to pull up a vendor, and under, let's see, I lose this all the time. Under the receiving section, there is a field down here called over-receive code. So the key for this is I can configure over-receiving on the vendor, on the item, as well as the customer. Okay, so that would basically be an overshipment on that side. But this code then, if I select from full list, I have the ability then to configure different types of receiving, or shipping. So I set up a code, a description, and then what is my tolerance, and do I require approval? So the approval is going to be approval process is going to be hooked into these over receiving or over shipping. So what happens then is I can set this code up on the vendor. If we go over to the customer, I'll show you it there as well. And that is going to be over on the, it's on the shipping section there someplace. It's there. And then I also have it on the inventory item. So let me show you that one. So if you're ordering an item from different vendors or multiple vendors, you'd want to set it up on the item level. If you want it by vendor, you could set it up on the vendor level as well. So there's your over receiving. So a feature people have asked for a long time, now available to us out of the box, which is really nice.